Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you the best system to turn strangers into closed deals, and let's jump on the desktop to show you some of the features that we're currently using. So it's not just AI features alone, it's having AI as part of a system, as part of a team, so that you can have a really tight process for marketing and sales. So let's get into it. So over here, I'm inside the CRM right now, and the first place you want to go to is the Opportunities tab. So you should have this Opportunities tab open every single day because this is really where you're going to make your money. And there's an app available as well. So if you're on the road and you need to do something with a lead, make a note, make a phone call, text message, you can also do that on your app. But I'm going to show you on your desktop because it's just easier. So the first thing to know is as soon as a lead comes in, this is integrated with your ads. So let's say Unverified Frank. This is a demo account. But let's say Unverified Frank comes in. He's going to be imported right away inside the CRM. And Unverified Frank is going to be sent an automatic text message. Now, if you have an appointment setter, if you're on that plan, they're going to be called right away during business hours. And if it's outside business hours, the text message is going to let them know that they're going to be contacted to schedule an appointment, and they'll also be sent a scheduling link so they can self-book as well. So if they don't self-book, your assistant or your ISA, inside sales agent, is going to call them several times and make notes. So they're going to double dial and text them each time, and they're going to double dial and text them several times within the first week, and they're going to check these little boxes off just so you know how many attempts are made. But more importantly, they're going to make notes for you. So if they can't get in touch, they'll just make a note. If they do get in touch, they're going to book an appointment for you after getting some information. So all of that information is going to be written down here. And this is also where you should write down your notes. So when you first meet them, this is a great place to take notes because then both you and your assistant are on the same page. So to do that, you just have to, I recommend putting the date just because it's a lot easier. So let's say it's, I don't know, May 20th, whatever the date is. You can put the date, then save it. Blah, blah, blah. Met with person and whatever. And then make sure you press the save button or else you'll lose it. And that would be a big shame because you spent all that time making notes. So once you have the notes section in, the reason this is important is because at some point, I'm going to show you later in this video, you can actually ask your assistant to reschedule a meeting for you. So if they have all of the notes in here, then they have the context to make a better phone call for you, and therefore you get better results. So going back to the point of this, Unverified Frank, he's going to be verified. And if for some reason he doesn't pick up his phone after several attempts, then he's going to be put into automations for nurture sequences. So we never waste a lead. We're contacting them as soon as possible, several times, and if they still don't get back to us, then we're putting them through automations. So this way, you can get a much higher conversion. Now, all of this stuff is the responsibility of your inside sales agent. They're putting in a lot of work. They're following up. They're using the automations. They're making the phone calls, and they're going to get you an appointment. So once an appointment's booked for you, it doesn't stop there. They're going to call again to confirm the appointment, and if they can't make it, they're going to reschedule. Now, sometimes the lead can actually self-book, and if they self-book, then your assistant is just going to confirm the appointment. And there are times when they self-book and they don't pick up the phone call even after several attempts. In those cases, they are less likely to show up. So what happens is your assistant is going to send you a notification via text or email that, hey, I got in contact with these people, but not these people. So then it's up to you if you want to show up to the meeting. What I recommend you do is still show up if you have the capacity, but if you don't, then just send them a final ultimatum saying like, hey, we couldn't get in touch with you, and I'm going to reschedule, and just see what they say, right? So it really is up to you. If you have a lot of capacity, just leave yourself open. A good chunk of these do eventually show up. But the important thing to note is If they do not show up within 1 minute of your meeting time, this is when you are double dialing and texting them right away. And you're going to text them something like, let's say, ghosting Gary. If you want to text them, use your own personal phone number, or you can use this. You can literally just send them a text message here, but I recommend using your personal phone number because then it shows a different number. So you're going to want to put the date. So let's say whatever the date is, and then no showed to a meeting. And what you can do is you can move them from the realtor to follow up into the no-show reschedule automation. So you can do that here, or you can literally just drag and drop them. It's super simple. So if I move ghosting Gary here, you're going to want to do this if it's been, let's say, 4 to 5 minutes after you texted them and you double dial and texted them. So if they still don't show up, throw them in the no-show reschedule automation. And what this does is, if you see this little robots here, it means it does automatic texting for you. So if you are uncertain and you want to see what these robots do, go to the automation section, go to the editable automated follow-ups, and you can see what happens here. No show, reschedule. So over here, they're going to get sent an email. Sorry, I missed you today for the free real estate consult. Love to help you. Here's a link. And then a more personalized text, like, hey, sorry, you weren't able to make it. And then next day, it'll send more messages and emails, and it just keeps going. And you can see after, if they still don't respond, they're going to get put into long-term nurture. So the cool thing about this system is your assistant will also get notified, and they're also going to reschedule this person for you. Now, missing 1 meeting is okay. Missing 2 is kind of up to you if you want to take it. Missing 3, I would just delete that lead or move them. And if you want to remove someone, you can literally just throw them here. They won't get any more automations, and you'll just have them there as kind of a graveyard pile. So this is a really great way to win back some of the people that missed the meetings. I know it's not cool that they missed the meeting, but remember, your sole job is to build your business, right? So sometimes the ego has to go out the window. Yes, they did miss the meeting, but everyone's human, and you can actually convert a good amount of these if you use the no-show reschedule automation. So don't forget to use that if they don't show up. Don't forget to double dial and text, because a huge number of people are not going to show up to a Zoom or Google Meet, but they will pick up their phone call. And sometimes these people just don't have a good grasp of technology. They forgot about the meeting. And if you double dial and text them, they will pick up. So that's super important to do. Now, let's say ghosting Gary, or let's use a different person. Let's say high quality lead. Let's say you had a really good first meeting with them. And let's say you are helping them sell a home. So you had a great meeting and you gave them a few calls this week, just try to get in touch with them. And for some reason, they're just not picking up your phone call. This happens. It's just human nature. It could happen because they didn't think it was a great meeting. Maybe it's something that you just thought, or maybe they're busy. So what you want to do is, for this person, you should be calling this person regularly. And we have other videos for the follow-up process, but you should call this person daily if they're not getting back to you. And if they are getting back to you, I'm just saying, like, yeah, I need a few days. You don't have to call them daily, but you should be calling them daily for the first week if they ghosted you. Now, what you can do is, if they still ghost you after that first week, don't let them get away unless they give you a yes or no. You have to get a yes or no response. So what you can do with this high quality lead is you can go in the notes and you can just put the date and put tried to contact 5 times, no response. And then I say, please help me book another call, something like that, right? So that way they'll know that they need another call. So make sure you save it. I'm not going to save it. This is just a demo. But you can move them into ISA to follow up. Another thing you can do is you can move them into the automations to get another meeting, and then they'll get text messages as well. So again, if you want to see what this does, just go to automations. go to editable follow-ups, automation to get another meeting, and you'll see the exact messages that they're going to send. And you can customize these. You don't have to use this. You can customize it to whatever you want. So if you do customize it though, make sure that you are very careful with these squiggly lines, because it's not going to say squiggly line contact first name. It's going to say their name, and it's going to say the person assigned's name. So if you delete these, just be really careful. But you can definitely change the messaging if you want. You don't have to, because we've already done it all. We've already tested everything. So it's probably not the best use of your time to update all of those unless you really, really want to. So we talked about what to do if someone ghosts. We talked about what to do if you had a good meeting and then they ghost. Let's talk about what do you do if you had a good meeting, but they're just not ready yet. So this could happen because they are just not ready yet, or because you haven't convinced them. Oftentimes the difference between someone who is not ready yet versus someone who's ready is actually the sales process. Maybe they just don't know what they don't know, or maybe you haven't convinced them enough. So if this is the case and they truly are not ready yet and it's not your sales process, let's use the example of Slow Susan. So Slow Susan, the biggest mistake people make with people like Slow Susan is they just kind of forget about them. Or maybe they'll put them in like an automatic email drip campaign, and then the emails never go through, and then this person kind of just disappears like the wind. So that's what most people do. They put them through this email drip campaign, and they forget about them. So what you want to do is you should put them through some sort of drip campaign. So we use email and text because the open rate for text is just so much higher than email. You have to text if you have their phone number, or else you're leaving money on the table. So you can put them into a long-term nurture automation. And again, if you want to see what it does, just go into the editable automated follow-up. Depending on if they are a seller or a buyer, they're going to get different drip campaigns. And you don't have to really edit it unless you really, really want to. But the point of this is Slow Susan is going to get tips and advice from your automated messages, thinking it's you, for several months. But you don't stop there. You need to add Slow Susan reminders in your calendar at least every few weeks. Just give Slow Susan a call and check in on her, because when she's ready, you need to be the person that Slow Susan is thinking of. So if you do this thing where you are constantly working on people that are not ready, you're going to eventually have a pipeline full of people that are ready and wanting to work with you. So just because they're not ready yet, don't forget about them. That's very important. So eventually Slow Susan is going to be a really good lead. And the whole point of the system is you're getting rid of the Slow Susans, the ghosting Garys. You're letting your assistant or the automations deal with them. And look, now you're just left with the high quality leads. And these are the people you should be contacting regularly with deals, with properties, trying to sell their properties. And if you let the automations and your assistant deal with the people that are not ready or the lower quality leads, it actually gives you the mental capacity and the physical capacity to convert to high quality leads. And that's what lead generation is all about. It's not just trying to manage every single lead. It's trying to be efficient, following the Pareto principle, and that's what this system does for you. So I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, we'll cover it during either your onboarding or the one-on-one calls. But please make sure you use the system to the max, because our most successful clients are the people that are really able to focus on the few, but not forgetting about the rest, because you're leaving money on the table if you're forgetting about these people. These people are actually the biggest piece of the pie for you.